It's been 5 years since The Last Dance came out, and it's had me wondering, is Michael Jordan really the GOAT? With his entire legacy looked at upon millions, let's go back from each and every single championship to see if he truly is the GOAT. No, I'm not talking about what happened in the regular season throughout Michael Jordan's career. I'm talking about the postseason. I'm talking about the NBA Finals, where your legacy is made. Because anyone can do anything in the regular season. Regular season don't mean. Let's make another thing clear. This documentary wouldn't even exist if LeBron James didn't come back from 3-1, because that's when Jordan felt most threatened.
Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT?
This documentary came at the perfect time, back when we were all going through it. There was literally no sports, no music, no movies, just hanging out and Now, in the Last Dance season, throughout the playoffs, Jordan had 680 points. LeBron in 2011-2012 during his first championship, 697, and his last year in Cleveland, 2017-2018, 748. No pip, no chip, 0 series wins without a top 75 player, 0-6 versus Bird, crushed by Daddy IT 3 years in a row. Once Scottie hit his prime, they started winning. 94 Bulls win less than 2 games. And early in Jordan's career, his game wasn't as respected as it was later in his career. He didn't have much of a jump shot in the beginning of his career. Many people can say the same about LeBron, but defenses were sagging off of Jordan, forcing him to shoot, knowing that if he drives down the lane into the paint, gets in the air, they have no chance. They would rather pick their poison, have him shoot jump shots, very similar to LeBron. And you know how Skip Bayless's dumbass always has to nitpick LeBron's legacy and LeBron's championships that he won? Well, I'm going to do the same with Michael Jordan, and you take what you will with that info.
Now let's get into the nitty gritty as to why you clicked on this video in the first place. 1984, first round exit for Michael Jordan. 1985-1986, they had 4 Hall of Famers on that squad alone. Parrish, McHale, Walton, Bird. 75 best players in NBA history. They were commemorated back in 2022. So no shame in getting first round swept by them. That was a series in which he scored 63 points in game 2 and was deemed God in sneakers by Larry Bird. 86-87, they still lost that first round series 3-0. Back then, you only had to win 3 games in the first round to move on to the second round. 86-87 got swept by Boston again, 3-0, and averaged a 3-point field goal percentage of 33.3. Now, I know shooting the 3 ball wasn't as prevalent as it is today, but still, that's not that great. Year 5, 88-89, that Bulls team was known for blowing leads. I mean, he wasn't established yet as the guy in 88 and 89, but still, with the media coverage around him and everyone saying he is the next coming of Jesus Christ, then, how are you blowing leads? They had that playoff series versus Cleveland in round 1, best 3 of 5. Series was tied 2-2, but in game 4, Jordan Mitch clutch free throws in game 4, and after that the rest was history. But with him missing clutch free throws, why didn't no one clown on him the same way people clown on LeBron? I guess I'll talk about that more in a little bit. But game 5, that was Michael Jordan's iconic buzzer beater victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers that sent them to the next round. Then they made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and that is where they ran into the Detroit Pistons, who would then be the NBA champions. No shame to losing to them there. And I made a separate video 5 years ago when The Last Dance dropped, saying that that was Jordan's greatest accomplishment. It wasn't any rings that he won. It was getting over the bad boy Pistons, because those guys messed him up beyond measure. Those guys made Jordan look like he wanted to quit basketball. They made Jordan look like he was not Air Jordan. They knew how to play him well. 89, 1990, that's when Scottie emerges as one of the top players in the NBA, helping the Bulls win playoff series after playoff series and being a great second option for the Chicago Bulls. However, in the playoff game, game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals that year, Scottie was a no-show. He basically should have been out that game because, he had that migraine, said he couldn't see. Jordan had 31 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Not bad, but, still at that time, he was deemed not clutch. He was deemed not a winner by many people. Although in The Last Dance, you would still make it seem as if he could do no wrong. Then 1990, 1991, they finally beat Detroit, but did it come at a cost of, okay, it was just a simple point of Detroit's time is over. It's done. They're old. They were done going. They just got off back-to-back finals victories. Was it just that they were old? I'll let you answer that in the comment section, but you get the idea. And Pippen was the hero in that closeout game. Go back and watch The Last Dance. He was the hero, and without him, who knows if they would have won that game, albeit they were up 3-0. Bulls could have lost game 4 or won game 4, and at worst, they would have just been prolonging the inevitable, and they would have won in 5. But nonetheless, it was a great feat by the Bulls back then. Then we had MJ's first ever finals against the Lakers. The Showtime Lakers were no longer a thing, and it was the old lion versus the young lion. Magic Johnson would retire after this NBA finals, and it signified the end of the Lakers dynasty as we knew it. And it was basically a changing of the guard with Magic retiring after this finals. And I think Byron Scott or James Worthy, one of those guys, had a hamstring injury, so the Lakers weren't at 100%. But Jordan went off on the offensive end, and on the defensive end, he was a defensive player of the year back then. Why couldn't he stop an old Magic? Why did they have to switch Scottie Pippen on the Magic? And that basically won them the series. I'm not saying that Jordan was a horrible defender, but it's just something to think about that he couldn't stop Magic in the first game, as he gave the Bulls a 3-piece in Minnesota, dropping a triple-double, but it made no difference as they would win the rest of the games. Jordan would capture that first elusive title. One thing I forgot to mention, in that closeout game 5, the Bulls were in a tight game with the Lakers. The Lakers weren't going down without a fight. And what did Phil Jackson say to Michael Jordan? Who's open? John Paxson. Give him the ball. So are we going to be facetious in the sense that John Paxson saved Michael Jordan's legacy? We could do that. Let's do it. He saved Michael Jordan's legacy. Or was it just the fact that he just had great teammates, the same way LeBron had great teammates? People say Ray Allen saved LeBron's legacy. Kyrie Irving saved LeBron's legacy. Well, okay, so did John Paxson. 1992 was an easy victory for them. All of the Portland Trailblazers who were in the NBA Finals 2 years prior in 1990. I'm so surprised that the Bulls did not sweep them because all the Trailblazers had was Clyde Drexler. Great player, but that's all they had. They had nobody else that averaged over 10 points a game. Then everyone had a hard on because Michael Jordan had 6 3-pointers in the first half. Steph Curry gets that in 1 quarter. Any NBA player in today's game can get that in 1 quarter. I don't understand. Maybe because back then it wasn't as prevalent as it is today. No one shot the 3 that good back then like they do now. Was that the case? Because I think so. 1993 Eastern Conference Finals. Bulls are down 2-0 to the Knicks. Game 1, Jordan shot 3 for 13 in the 4th quarter in that game 1. But in game 2, he was not able to finish and bring home the win for the Bulls. People were looking at it as, all right, he's having flaws in his game, especially after going and gambling. People were nitpicking and trying to find bad things about him the same way y'all do with LeBron. It didn't matter. The Bulls went on to win 4 straight, closing out the Knicks in 6. Then they would meet the Phoenix Suns in the NBA Finals, who just had one man and one man only. Charles Barkley, who was the league MVP, and rightfully so. That dude was a stud on the court, averaging 33 points in the playoffs that year. And the second leading scorer on that Phoenix Suns team was Danny Ainge, averaging 11 points. The Bulls were just no match when you got guys like Michael Jordan and you got another guy like Scottie Pippen averaging 20 points per playoff game. You're going to win that series relatively easy. Close out game 6 against the Suns. Paxson hits another shot that wins the game basically for the Bulls, like he did against the Lakers in 1991. So same argument bears. Did he save Jordan's legacy, or was it just the benefit of having amazing teammates like LeBron had a Kyrie Irving or Ray Allen? Just a question. Then in 1993, he retired or got suspended or went to go play baseball, or I don't know. The theory that Jordan got suspended was fishy yet plausible in the sense that, okay, he had gambling problems. No, it wasn't as bad as some gambling addicts were, but, you know, it was fishy at the time that his father's death came in the middle of a gambling investigation. It looked bad, but the sense that David Stern would suspend his cash cow, his biggest star, in the middle of their primes is really stupid, and that's a bad business move on David Stern's part. So, albeit the theories that he was in with loan sharks, had mob ties, it sounds fun to talk about, but again, why would David Stern do that at the expense of losing the biggest superstar? So I don't believe that theory one bit. So he missed the entire 93-94 season, then came back in 95 and faced the Orlando Magic, and they kind of choked. They really did choke. Jordan lost the ball, and it's that simple. I'm not trying to bag on Michael Jordan. He is great in his own ways. But, if this was LeBron, everyone would be eviscerating him. I would not. When LeBron passed it to Kyle Korver, Game 4 of the 2017 NBA Finals. Round 1, last dance against the New Jersey Nets. They weren't even the Brooklyn Nets. Obviously, they had no Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, or James Harden. And in Game 1, they took the Bulls all the way to overtime. And mind you, in round 1 back in the day, you could only have to win 3 games. It was best of 5, So yeah, easily. It was that easy for the Bulls. In that 1993-94 season, that's when many people believed the Bulls were at their best. Phil Jackson did his best coaching. This guy said it himself. And Scottie Pippen was the best facilitator on that team. And I know I said I wasn't going to be talking about the regular season, but the Bulls had an amazing regular season that year, almost as if they didn't need Michael Jordan at all in that regular season because they played so well and had a winning record. I'm just merely keeping the same energy that we do with LeBron, but with Michael. I can't take anything of Michael's greatness away. It was the first time Michael looked human to so many people, and it was the first time since 1990, so the better part of 5 years, that the Bulls got knocked out in the playoffs, in the Eastern playoffs, not the finals. 1992 NBA Finals, they faced the Seattle Supersonics. The Lakers didn't beat the Supersonics. It was the Chicago Bulls. Shout out to Ice Cube. And this series was basically over right away as George Karl made the stupidest decision as to why he didn't put Gary Payton, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, on Michael Jordan. It was absolutely absurd, so it was kind of like it was handed to them on a silver dish. But Jordan averaged 33.6 points per game in the NBA Finals, more than LeBron, went on to defeat the Utah Jazz the very next year with the flu game, which actually wasn't open heart surgery. Nonetheless, en route to 6, and whether you pushed off on Byron Russell or not, it's up to you. But the Bulls only averaged 3.3 pointers per game, which is pretty low, especially during that time. And Scottie Pippen was the second best player on that team. What made their wins over the Jazz more impressive was that John Stockton finished as the all-time leader in assists, and Karl Malone finished in the top 10 of all-time scoring. Now let's talk about LeBron. In 2007, he played against 3 Hall of Famers, San Antonio Spurs, Duncan, Parker, Ginobili. Then in 2010, he had that horrible series, the ending to that series against the Boston Celtics, which then resulted in his departure from Cleveland, going over to Miami. And then in 2011, he played probably his worst NBA Finals ever against Dallas. I'm a giant fan of his, and I will say he played horrible in that Finals. 2012, comes back, wins the Finals again. This was the start of LeBron's dominant decade of going to Finals after Finals after Finals. 2012, plays against Durant, Westbrook, and Harden, wins that series in 5. Then comes back, plays against the team that he lost his very first NBA Finals against in Parker, Duncan, Ginobili, and now add a young Kawhi Leonard to the mix. They won that in 7, and that was the shot in which everyone said Ray Allen saved LeBron's legacy. Do you see a little theme going on here? 2014, they run it back, and then this is when Kawhi Leonard starts becoming Kawhi Leonard. So add a 4th Hall of Famer to that mix. Obviously, Kawhi is going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's on the all-team 75 NBA team, so I think he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. So add that as to another team that was built to stop one man and one man only. Summer 2014, goes back to Cleveland, plays against Golden State in that 2015 Finals, and he is without Kevin Love as he got injured in the very first round of the 2015 playoffs, and without Kyrie Irving for the rest of the 6 games as he got hurt in overtime of Game 1. And I told all my friends this that summer because they hate LeBron as well, and they loved his demise in that 2015 NBA Finals. I told them specifically, he hit the wall. This was the second time he was playing with the low-level roster, and he was the one driving the wagon, forcing their team, willing their team to win games. They beat the Cleveland Cavs, not the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that was prevalent in 2016 because they came back and defeated the greatest team ever in NBA history, coming back from 3-1. LeBron James had 41 points in Game 5, 41 points in Game 6, and then a 25, 10, and 10 triple-double to close it out in Game 7 to cap off the greatest postseason that LeBron has ever had. 2017, Kevin Durant adds his name to the mix of this rivalry. Again, yet another team built to beat one man and one man only. LeBron was literally Thanos. I mean, you had 5 All-Stars on that team. 5 Hall of Famers, especially when you add Boogie Cousins to the mix in 2018. And yeah, they lose in 5. I mean, I thought they should have lost in 6, maybe 7. But when you add Kevin Durant to the mix, the entire world knew it was unfair. And that summer 2017, Kyrie Irving left, and LeBron was basically out there naked because Kevin Love kind of had a decline in his play, and LeBron was back to taking a team of scrubs to the NBA Finals. And that's exactly what happened in 2018. 2018 Bron was just different. Go look at the highlights. I don't have enough time to tell you all about 2018 Bron. I'm trying to get to the point, if you know what I'm saying, because 2018 Bron was absolutely insane. He just ran into a way better team in 2018. No one was knocking him for losing that game, that series in 4. 2019 goes to Lakers, misses the playoffs. 2020 though, he gets back to the finals. He gets back to prominence in the playoffs, averaging 27, 10, and 8. Jordan always averaged more points than LeBron in the finals and in the playoffs, mainly because Jordan carried the load on offense, whereas LeBron was, we all know, more of a facilitator. He was there trying to get the ball to this person and this person, all while trying to get his own shots on offense. And that 2020 playoff Bron was absolutely special, absolutely amazing to see him. No one of prominence guarded Jordan in the finals. I know I just said earlier that Gary Payton guarded Jordan in Game 3 and Game 4 in the games that they won, but no one else of note guarded him. Dan Maherle, I have no idea how to say his name, he had 2 all-defensive teams. Other than that, no other person had great accolades that guarded Michael Jordan in the finals. For Skip Bayless's dumbass saying that LeBron doesn't have a clutch gene, look at this, final 5 seconds of fourth quarter and overtime. Who has 4? Kobe. Who else has 4? Chris Middleton. Who else has 4? What the hell? Tyrese Halliburton. 5, Reggie Miller, and with 8, LeBron freaking James. Where's Michael Jordan on this list? Hell, where's even Steph Curry on this list? This is just a fact. Then he missed another one that could have won the series at home. It was an air ball. So not the most dire of circumstances, but still, a miss was a miss, and they still had the cushion of being up 3-2. Was he still clutch? I'll let you be the judge. Don't forget, Jordan missed the game winner to make Chicago go up 3-1 in their Eastern Conference Finals series against the Indiana Pacers, which would have, at that time, only been his second game-winning career postseason basket. I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't have cold hard facts, but here's footage, and above the footage is people saying LeBron wouldn't last in today's NBA. Well, let's just see how crazy last year's or yesterday's NBA was compared to today.
Move your feet. Make Ron Harper move his feet. McCunn Williams in the hands of Jordan. And another.
If you had some people that have that type of courage and keep going after it.
Cleveland a 4-point lead. Jordan in for the left and a foul call. Off to the right. Now takes it across the lane. Shoots it up. Blocked.
Sprained ankle. Jordan was pushed. 3:15 remaining first half. And a foul pulled off after the good start. And he also hit their last 5 shots. And
change of tires, obviously.
And Jordan was
for the lead. Jordan loose ball. But the Knicks are coming up with most of their loose balls today. Jordan will draw.
Shot clock at 5.
You can't get too close to Michael. It's a foul.
Oh, and for the people that said Jordan never flopped the way that LeBron does, hey, yo, DJ, Drop that track.
That was not more like the most physical push off in NBA history. Why did he get right up? That's like the only
ain't no way this little guy is
the most toughest footage. We never seen nobody get fouled like Jordan that. Ain't never flopped, man. Come on.
Y'all just hated.
That's what LeBron. When you study the greats, you implement what they did. Nah, man, don't tell me you got more footage, man. Why you keep showing all these videos?
Yeah, it is. As you can clearly see,
I'm not watching.
When all else fails,
you ain't never seen LeBron on the court with his eyes closed like somebody knocked
Jordan's
him
out. Lie about the flop bid. You lie about who the GOAT is.
Watching these videos, it's all starting to make sense.
Lie.
You think the way that he lands down, this got to be a season-ending injury, bro.
No.
This was just another way for Michael Jordan to get David Stern to soften the rules.
Go
give Michael Jordan his credit, bro.
Right.
He invented the offensive flop.
How dare you talk about the GOAT like that?
And all them real ones from the 80s, they know that. Look, bro was fed up. They giving him.
As for the man himself, Michael Jordan, his take on this entire GOAT debate had Jordan's fans falling to their knees in a Walmart parking lot.
Won 6 championships. Bill Russell won 11. Does that make Bill Russell better than me and make me better than him? No, because we play at different eras.
Sorry. I mean, you heard it straight from the horse's mouth. Now let's listen to Doc Rivers. Ever heard of him? He knows a thing or two about basketball. I know he chokes 3-1 leads left and right, but I like his take on this whole GOAT debate.
The whole LeBron thing bothers me because he's one of the greatest of all time. And we keep trying to find why he's not great. You turn on ESPN, we keep looking at why LeBron is not great. I've never seen so many people want LeBron to fail instead of celebrating his greatness. Look at Michael. It took Michael 7 years to win an NBA title, but no one criticized Michael. The difference between Michael and LeBron, when Michael came in the league, he surprised everybody how great he was. When LeBron came in the league, they expected him to be great. Michael, in some ways, we allowed him to grow into greatness. We didn't allow LeBron that, and he still overachieved. LeBron is better than anyone ever thought. He rarely gets hurt. He always shows up. He's had some of the biggest clutch games in NBA history, which is amazing.
But perhaps the man that sums this all up perfectly is some random TikToker, Instagrammer. Shout out to him because he explains it perfectly for the casual audience and LeBron haters.
Jordan was a better scorer than LeBron James.
LeBron James has more points than Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan did it in less seasons.
LeBron James did it in less shot attempts.
Michael Jordan won more championships.
LeBron James made it to way more finals.
Well, he won more, so he's better.
Bill Russell.
He don't count.
Nothing counts when someone beats Michael Jordan at something.
Well, he gave me this feeling when he had the ball in his hand in the last 3 seconds of the shot clock.
LeBron James has hit more buzzer-beating shots in the playoffs than Michael Jordan. Relax. Bron is better, bro.
No! This can't be.
Right.
You just a Bron-sexual. I ain't never seen another man like another man that much.
One person said, why would Jordan need 2 superstars in an era where it was only 8 superstars? The level of competition back in the day wasn't that good. I love LeBron James. He got me into basketball. He's my all-time favorite player. Do I think he's better than Jordan? Yes. But here's how I'm going to explain this to give these men both their flowers. LeBron James proved that he's one of the most dominant players of today, even at 40 years of age. And Michael Jordan, to bring up the whole era difference and whatnot, he was the best in his era. He was ahead of the curve. Now you see, like I mentioned earlier, Curry going and getting 6 3-pointers in a quarter. Now you see guys flying through the air a la Ja Morant, hell, a la Grayson Allen doing all these MJ-esque sort of layups. He paved the way for other athletes to be doing this. He played at his own apex where everyone else wasn't that good. Whereas LeBron, him playing at this time now kind of hurts his career in the sense that he is playing at the apex of basketball as a whole. Everybody can shoot. Everybody can defend. Everybody can rebound. Everybody can go and get you 20, 30-point triple-doubles on any given night. He just shown he can be a consistent player. And yes, those longevity awards, people are arguing that till they're blue in the face. Why didn't Jordan do the same? Why couldn't he do the same? Let me know in the comment section, please. But my point being is, Jordan was ahead of the curve. And LeBron is playing at the apex of basketball. That's why he doesn't have a winning record like Jordan does, because the game just wasn't where it was back then like it is now. Because you can make the argument, Kevin Durant doesn't show up for Golden State, LeBron wins another 2 rings. Kyrie Irving doesn't get hurt. Kevin Love doesn't get hurt. LeBron wins another 2 rings. I don't mean to live in a shoulda, coulda, woulda, if, then, and there world, but you get the idea. You get my point. But I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm going to let all y'all fight about it in the comment section, and you tell me who is the GOAT.